we put it on the picture for the front of the video?
I don't know where it's going to be on
If
here,
it's gonna
but
be
it'll be
there?
very interesting to see.
It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, we're learning as we go.
Learning as we go. So let's see, Mike, do me a favor, stand up and show everybody your
The back of my shirt.
turn around, buddy. Get closer to get closer as we just knock out the yeah.
Did I knock it out?
Perfectly done. Love it. We got Mike, the Mario Brother XRP King, right there. Love it. Beautiful.
Little gift for my son this weekend. This
Beautiful.
week.
Muscles, Mikey Muscles.
Yep. Do we have sound?
Let's just check that out, buddy. Right there. Love it.
Perfect.
We are good to go, rocking and rolling. Okay. All right, boy, let's get into it. Oh, all right.
All right.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the Intro to Crypto. It is Friday night. What a great week.
Fast. Nice to get rid of that heat.
It's
a little hot.
I'm looking forward to some more heat, though, this weekend, personally. I'm looking forward to a nice, beautiful weekend.
Next week. I don't think it's going to be that hot this weekend. I don't think. From what I saw on my phone, but I think next week it's going to be back in the 90s.
Yeah, I'll take some warm weather. Michael Christoforo, David Lamel here. It is your Intro to Crypto on Friday. Thank you so much for joining us every week. We appreciate being a part of your lives. Hopefully you're learning and you're getting excited. This podcast specifically today is very interesting how it relates to real estate. Mortgage broker, real estate agent. Remember, this is not financial advice. This is your friend speaking to you to educate you as much as we can on the future of what's happening around you.
Yeah.
This is the Intro to Crypto podcast. This is for people to begin to understand what crypto is, understand what's happening around them. You don't hear about it. You don't know about it. It's not on the news. It may be in some business channels a little bit to talk a little bit about it. But it's something happening in the background, and we want to make sure you have a chance to be a part of it, learn as much as you can, because we care about you. And I say it every week, and I hope it really means how it comes across. I'm hoping that there'll be you out there, one or two or three of you out there, or maybe more, who, because you watched us talk about crypto and digital assets, will get a chance to learn as to what they are, how they're going to affect your life if you get involved today in advance, and you'll have a chance to have an amazing life in the future because you got involved it earlier. As a matter of fact, I put the glasses back on because I had to do some reading over here.
Huh.
All right. And Sarah Santos is joining us back in the hot seat over here too. Sarah, so great to have you part of our show. This is the Intro to Crypto, and having some fun with it. I got to clean these glasses, I think. Oh my goodness. How embarrassing. I feel like the old guy.
The only ones that can see the dirty glasses right now are you. You're the only one.
You know, when you get older, you have to make sure you can see very well. It's a little different than most experiences. All right, so Intro to Crypto. I'm not sure if you guys have heard what's going on with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are now looking at crypto to be used to be able to buy a home. Mind-boggling. Again, 2 years ago, wasn't even on the table. Now, crypto, which nobody's talking about, you don't hear about, Freddie and Fannie are looking to allow crypto to be used to help you buy a home, using it as in many different ways. So we're going to kind of get into this, and it's a little bit convoluted. So if I get into an arena where it gets a little bit too boring, Mike's going to stop
I'll rein him out.
and rein me out. All right. So let's start with this. Fannie and Freddie Mac's role. They are the backbone of America's mortgage system, as we know. What they accept sets the standard. Their exploration of crypto signals potential changes. For example, if they allow crypto as qualifying collateral, it can open up the floodgates for new home buyers. And God bless, we need new home buyers. Sarah knows that. I know that. You know that.
No, we don't need more buyers. We need more sellers.
But we need more qualified because we need buyers now have the ability to buy a more expensive home because they have more people who are in crypto have more money probably in the crypto than they have an actual bank account. That's a stat we can definitely let you know about.
I can definitely
tell
you that's coming.
So people who have crypto have more money in crypto than they actually have in their bank accounts, and the fact that they can use a crypto in ways to use as collateral
Yep.
or as a dividend. We'll get into it a little deeper over here. All right. So some coins generate income, such as staking. Others act like digital gold, such as Bitcoin XRP, for example. All right. We talk about XRP a lot. It's a reason for that. Everybody knows Bitcoin be the godfather of crypto, right? Blockchain enables instant verification of assets. Michael, the blockchain, please, for everybody, just to remind them what it is.
What's blockchain?
What is blockchain?
It's cryptocurrency, and it's the shared ledger that shows exactly what's happening on the transactions on that network.
You can actually Google a blockchain and see money that's being moved digitally from point A to point B, watching it move in the air. It's kind of crazy, right?
It's
like
pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, you can do that for any crypto, really. So like you can go to XRP scan and you will see just the XRP. So you can plug in the QR code for the asset that you have at whatever exchange, and you'll have the QR code, and you can be able to see exactly what's in that. And as you move in and out of it, you'll be able to see it instantly on that scanner. And you can do that for everything.
Are blowing up over here. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, pretty amazing stuff. DeFi and fintech lenders already issue crypto collateralized loans. For example, companies like, and you may never heard this before, Milo, Figure, Moon Mortgage, and Arc Lending already doing crypto mortgages. Bringing real estate expertise into the story, we've helped buyers and sellers navigate through markets. Now we're guiding them into the next era. We're getting to the next era, right? Like Nanu Nanu Shazbot. Is that from like Mork and Mindy? Anybody out there? Nanu Nanu?
Well, now you're dating yourself,
Right?
Dave. Now,
Shazbot.
All these young kids do not know Mork and Mindy.
Let your audience know you understand both real estate and crypto. Here are we going to go for you. Team Powerhouse, we're not just selling homes. We're pioneering how people can finance them. Pretty cool stuff, right? What we're teaching, what we're learning, what we're talking about here is what is happening in real estate and is happening, and we have to get ready for it.
And it's going to be quicker and quicker and quicker. Like we've talked about, we've gone through some of the proppy.
Yeah.
And they're only in a handful of states right now. But, Dave was asking me with this changes that were going on. He was like, is your company doing anything regarding this? And honestly, the answer is no company's going to do anything until Fannie Mae and FreddieMac do something, because they're the ones, or FHA, they're the ones that are running 90% of the mortgages that are out there.
Who are Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, you ask? Government-sponsored enterprises, GSEs, that purchase mortgages from lenders to provide liquidity in the housing market. Their guidelines shape how banks qualify buyers. If they say crypto counts towards assets, banks will follow quickly. Okay? So they are the backbone. If they say we're in, we are all in. And that is huge.
Huge.
Our camera's a little crooked. It's okay. So traditionally, historically, it's conservative, focused on W-2s, incomes, tax returns, credit scores, and cash reserves. They've never factored in volatile or non-traditional assets like crypto. Crypto hasn't been considered because of its price swings, but that's changing. We know the crypto market is up and down, up and down, up and down 24/7 because it's 24/7.
Yep.
And because it's 24/7, if you watch it, you'll lose your mind. Don't do it. Buy what you can afford to buy. Hold. Do not sell.
Yep.
This is just the beginning. Lots of dips, ups and downs. Don't be a day trader. It's not a healthy idea. I don't recommend it. Buy as you do with your stocks. You buy and you buy and you buy. And you let it sit.
Yep.
And you let it happen. But with crypto, it's going to happen a lot faster and a lot more in a much shorter period of time.
I mean, just look at how much we've changed just in the last 2 years with regulations. Last 6 months, we're hearing banks talking about stuff in crypto that we would have never heard about a year ago or 6 months ago. I mean, the adoption is just coming quicker and quicker and quicker.
I'm going to slide my leg and title here. I'm going to slide a little closer to you. Sorry. So it's definitely been changing. I'm sorry.
No,
I tried over here. All right, so important. Why they're exploring digital assets now? Market pressure. Younger buyers want to use their crypto. Okay, that's important to know. Institutional credibility is growing. BlackRock, Fidelity, and Goldman Sachs are in the space. Now, if you listen to YouTube or watch YouTube and follow a handful of the people we talk about all the time, like Jake Claver, Avi Lev, Crypto Sensei, Mikkel, King Solomon, Bearable Bull, CypherX. Again, there's so many more. Cheeky Crypto. What's the guys you like?
You got a bunch of them.
What's the guys you like over there? The father and son.
Oh, yeah, I really I like him so much I can't remember him.
They've got the world on their hat. Good guys. All right, so
the stable crew.
The stable crew. Very good job, buddy. So we got 20% of millennials now hold crypto instead of traditional savings and assets and stocks. Savings and stocks. Potential crypto use cases they're evaluating: using crypto as additional collateral to strengthen loan applications, possibly viewing stable staking rewards and income. So we haven't talked a lot about staking. We have talked about it before.
Yeah.
Michael, explain what staking is, please.
It's when you use the token that you have purchased and be able to post it onto the exchange to be able to use it as part of the network's security and their protocol.
So like a savings account, you put your money in a savings account, but you earn like 1%. Where at staking, you might be earning 5 or even 10% on the money that or the coins you have that you purchased.
Right.
And they're using that as collateral to invest it and make more money for the system.
Yep.
How this signals a major shift in lending. Crypto is inching toward being seen as real money, which we see it already. The government-sponsored enterprises, credit risk models, and underwriting processes must evolve.
This came out yesterday. It was yesterday. And it was at my conference call today. So we were talking about Fannie Mae and FreddieMac and the changes going on with crypto. So it's definitely the fact that my meetings at the office mentioned crypto. I've always been the black sheep sitting on the outside, talking about crypto in the back of my mind, but nobody, people knew about it, but nobody was doing anything with it. So
it wasn't in the meeting conversation. It was something we talked about before the meeting or after.
Yes, exactly right. Well said. But one thing that I just want to add, Dave and I were having a conversation before, and I was reading an article from a publication, and they were not exactly positive about it, and they were going down the road saying that we were using assets that were what's the word? Not secure, not stable, and we're using that, and this can cause a housing crisis. And because they compared it to 2008 and how we had the collapse of housing back in 2008, and I said it's night and day different.
Absolutely,
night and day. I said we were doing loans with credit scores down to 500. Now on a conventional loan, it's with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac is still 620. So they did not soften those standards in any way. So when I see these publications, I really wanted to talk about it a little bit with Dave because I thought it would be engaging for people to see what are they talking about in the mainstream media versus what we believe to be the truth.
It's not just what we believe, it's what's actually, that's not a belief, it's happening. We're listening to it all the time. And the thing is that a lot of you aren't listening to it because you're not where it's being talked about, right? Yeah. It's kind of like if you want to learn about anything, you need to be in the place where they're teaching about it, right? It doesn't just happen to be around you. If you want to learn about real estate, be surrounded by people who talk real estate, you'll learn about real estate. You want to learn about business, you want to learn about stocks and bonds, whatever, you go to those places that you listen to. Yep. In order to learn about crypto, you have to go and put yourself in a place where you learn about it. And YouTube is a major platform for where most of it's being talked about. And on X, where you find, again, the main players talking, that kind of stuff. Coach JV, by the way,
Yeah.
is another great guy. Very smart, very passionate man.
Very smart man.
Yeah.
However, you think that we are underdressed for a podcast?
You know, I like how you guys he's got the white
tank
beater.
tops, yeah,
hat
yeah,
backwards.
and the long beard,
Yeah,
yeah. So
I like it though.
It's-
It's a style.
he's wealthy. He's wealthy, so he can do whatever he wants.
But you know what? It's because people who are in crypto. Here's the best part about it. The wealthiest people, you don't know who they are because of how they dress. Usually it's the people that are the least flash. They're the wealthiest people in the world. You know what I mean? They might have a nice suit. You know, they might have a nice piece of things here and there, but they're not like the people who are driving, let's say, Bugattis and Lamborghinis per se.
You know, I want to add to that. That's
Yes.
one of the beautiful parts of crypto
Yes.
is that theoretically, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you could potentially be loaded, walking down an airport, and nobody would ever know because it's crypto. It's not even like, hey, he's got 12 apartment buildings. He's got 15 apartment buildings. No, it's all sitting on a wallet theoretically.
That's
So,
right.
I mean, it's pretty cool how anonymous some people are going to be and how wealthy they are. A perfect example. Let's talk about the CEO at Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse.
Yes.
He has over $1 billion. You'd never, the
Never.
average person that doesn't watch these things or doesn't have a clue, he can be walking down the street, nobody would even know who he is. So far.
The crypto integration movement, crypto as a collateral for home loans. Some lenders are already accepting crypto as collateral without requiring liquidation. You keep your crypto and borrow against it. That's the part that gets exciting because you actually don't have to spend it. You're earning on it and borrowing against it. So you're not losing it. You continue to have it.
Well, that's the sign of true wealth. And that's one of the things that we've learned a lot by taking part in these videos and listening to Jake and so forth, because, or the Stable Crew, because this is what they talk about all the time. It's always about never selling your assets and being able to live off of the income from them.
In crypto, you're going to find a lot of people selling as soon as the market pops, right? Because they get excited. They want to buy something flashy, with a car. Listen, more people be able to buy a house than ever before and other things as well. And they're going to peel off some of their crypto and buy it. The smarter ones will probably allow it to gain interest on it, use the interest on the money they're making on it, and buy their house, continue to keep their crypto in it. But whatever you want to do, you get to do if you've invested in it because you have a part of it. And that's the biggest thing over here.
Absolutely.
Again, not financial advice. This is for educational purposes and making sure that you understand and learning about this kind of stuff because it is something we want to make sure you have a chance to be a part of. I repeat myself multiple times to make sure he's listening.
There's a lot of ways, by the way, that are out there to use the DeFi to be able to earn the income on it, on the crypto. Just be cautious and careful because there is a lot of scams out there. That will all disappear in the coming years is my wish.
Absolutely.
But until all the adoption comes in place and the banks will allow you to bring your crypto right into
more regulation.
the big banks. Just be careful. Careful on the DeFis right now. You can make really good returns, but you can also lose what you're putting into it.
That's why it's important to follow and listen to the right people. As Mike, you said about them being scammers. Jake Claver is a great person to follow and to kind of learn a lot about how to protect your assets, how to protect your assets.
Yep.
Kathy, thank you for joining us also over there on Instagram. People keep jumping in over here, which is awesome. Let's see. We have DeFi income as qualifying income. If a borrower is earning steady, trackable passive income from staking or yielding farming, that may one day count as income. Again, staking.
Yeah.
Someone earning $12 a month staking Flare could use that as consistent income. So basically taking your crypto and staking it, right? And you're making money. You may be making $1,200 a month on it, right? And you use it. And how does that work with the taxes, right?
Well, I mean, it's going to be treated just like a dividend stock at that point. You know, I mean,
But the
the
point,
IRS is going to get their piece.
but the point of it is that the lenders can use that dividend you're making on your staking or the crypto asset to you showing as income, like a investment property.
Right. The secret is, though, if you don't sell it, then you're not paying it. You're only paying it on the interest that you earn from it, not from the actual capital gain that you lost.
The secret is in the sauce. Let me just tell you something I just thought about. You buy an investment property, you buy a multifamily. Multifamily is a great investment to buy. You have tenants, right? Each tenant on the floor is going to pay you. You buy a multi, let's say for $500,000. In order to buy that multi for $500,000, you need to have X amount of money that's coming in that makes it worth to buy that $500,000. Mm-hmm. If you have $500,000 worth of, let's just say, XRP, you don't have to deal with tenants to make that money. There's no tenants involved. You don't have to go and collect the rent from a tenant. You're getting income earned on that crypto.
You also don't have property taxes.
That's right.
You don't have to pay for insurance. You don't have the headaches of leaks. You don't have to worry about wind damage,
replacing anything in your house,
or storm damage or storm surge.
And we're talking about 10% just to begin with on your interest, between 10 and 30% on your interest on crypto. That's mind-blowing.
That's where we're going with this thing. Yeah.
So if you buy the right things and you invest correctly, the future of your opportunity is endless, literally.
Yeah.
So it's
well
right. It's going to be people aren't even buying multifamilies anymore. They're going to be investing correctly in the crypto assets. That's going to earn them a much higher yield with less headaches involved.
I sort of agree. I mean, I think if you've made enough money in crypto, you might want to diversify and do the multifamilies potentially, and then maybe have a property manager running the whole thing for you. I think all those things are still a possibility.
Actually, I don't think you're buying multifamilies. You're buying strip malls. You're going to be making a larger purchase that's a much higher yield than
an apartment building.
An apartment building, right? It has maybe 100 units kind of thing.
Yep.
That would be a purchase. All right. Instead of bank statements, you assure your crypto wallet with transaction history and staking balance. The rise of tokenization in real estate, entire homes and commercial properties are being tokenized on the blockchains, like the XRPL and Polygon.
That's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming. This opens the door for fractional ownership, faster closings, and eventually DeFi-powered mortgages. We talked about fractional ownership. There's a website called Pripco, an app on your phone. You can actually start buying fractional pieces of buildings in Dubai. Literally, you can go right now. What's the name of that? Place?
Pripco, Prypco. I think it's Pripco. And I looked it up.
It's pretty interesting.
I started to play with it a little bit. You can choose 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit places that are, let's say, and you buy, let's say, 5%, 10%, however much you want to put into it. And you're going to go ahead. You can buy
5%.
Not 5%. I'm sorry. You can buy whatever. You can invest whatever you want.
$50.
Yeah,
what's the minimum?
$50 is the minimum to invest, and you make 10% back on your money. How crazy is that? That's already happening now. That is going to be the future here in the United States. They're going to start building buildings, apartment, whatever it's going to be. You're going to be able to buy fractional pieces of it. Pretty amazing stuff. Let's see. So real use scenarios. Again, we're going to repeat a little bit of your crypto-backed mortgages. No liquidation needed. Buyer has $250,000 in Bitcoin and doesn't want to sell due to taxes or market timing. Using Bitcoin as collateral to secure a mortgage without selling any. Again, we talk about Milo accepts crypto collateral directly and blocks into Bitcoin as in custody.
I can tell you that Jake, like we talk about all the time, Jake right now has the ability for people that are working with him that can borrow against their XRP, never sell it. And I think he mentioned the interest rate on that. It was not cheap, but if you think that it's going to go up, and let's say you need to, let's say, for example, you have $1 million, let's just say, worth of XRP, and your daughter's, getting ready to get married, and you need $100,000. Instead of losing 10% of your XRP, you can actually
Borrow
borrow
against
against it. And then, like Jake keeps talking about, it's almost like real estate where you just
Like a HELOC.
borrow and then you pay it off with lower interest rates. He's like he said the interest rate might be 12 or 14% right now, but as time goes on and the asset becomes more accepted,
valuable.
it's going to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, which is basically what's going to end up happening.
Staking income as qualifiable income. Borrower earns borrower earns passive income staking HBAR or Flare at $900 a month. Again, another example. If recognized by lenders, this could count as income, especially for self-employed or crypto. You know, the self-employed, that's another big thing, right? Self-employed, get a mortgage is not easy. You got to put down 25%, something like that.
No, you can still do a 5% down, or a 3.5 FHA, but you have to have the income. The problem is the self-employed people get to write everything off. That's typically what happens.
That's facts. Let's see. What else can I tell you over here? I feel like I'm repeating myself. No need to liquidate crypto assets. Again, we talked about that. Buyers can use crypto as collateral instead of selling and triggering capital gains. Keeps long-term investment intact while still accessing liquidity. A buyer borrows $300K in XRP without selling it, preserves upside while purchasing a home. All right, I'm repeating myself a lot.
I wanted to just real quick talk about another change real quick. I don't like to read this stuff, as you can tell. But it's a good thing you do because you keep the flow going.
Keeping the flow going.
But with, XRP Ledger, speaking of XRP Ledger, just talking about the changes that are going on. We had something else happen this week. There's a wormhole is actually the name of this thing. It's called wormhole integration. Ripple recently integrated with wormhole, enhances XRP Ledger. It's basically using 35 different blockchains that are all now going to be integrated on the XRP Ledger. So this is what we're talking about, is that we're laying all of the conduit or the water system like we talk about all the time, and it's all going to be interoperable. And there's XRP network using 35 different ones that are all getting combined into it. So
how many people have you talked to recently, friends of yours that have been watching this podcast, are starting to ask you more and more questions, getting more and more involved?
I usually get the questions like, when are you going to go on your own without Dave?
That's kidding. Awesome.
I'm just kidding.
No, but literally I was talking to a couple of good friends of mine. And, it's typically in our business that your friends and family are not your first line of your clients, which is unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
But recently I was talking about it, and I said, listen, guys, I'm not sure if you follow the podcast or not. And they're like, yeah, but they're like, we don't watch a crypto podcast. We don't get it. And I said, okay, listen, I'm telling you now in advance, if you don't watch it, you're going to miss out. This is the basics. Again, we've done maybe 15 episodes so far. It's been a couple of months. I want to make sure that my friends at least have a chance to learn about it. And then you can make your own decision if you want to be involved in it or not. But here's the thing is, one day when it pops, and you and I are not here anymore because we've decided to take a different direction in our lives, right? I don't want someone to say to me, why didn't you tell me about this? Why didn't I know about crypto? We've all heard about the Bitcoin people, your friend or somebody you knew in the last 15 years, right? The whole point of this is for you to at least listen and do your research. Do the research. Take the time and look it up. Don't take it from two guys just standing over here talking about crypto. Do your research. We want to have a chance for you to learn about what's going on. Yep. There is so much happening that you don't hear about.
But don't just research it. If you agree with it, you need to take action and buy some.
You need to take action, and how to take action. Maybe a step 2. If you have questions about how to take action, we can help you with that. We can give you some direction on that. But the point is,
plenty of videos out there. And honestly, I've walked many people through Uphold. It's literally 10, 15 minutes, you can actually be owning crypto.
Yeah.
So that's what kept me out of Bitcoin 15 years or 10, 12 years ago, because I had no idea how to do it.
Right.
But now it's so much different than where it was 10, 12 years ago. It's simple because we have the internet.
The security of crypto now is also much different than it used to be. We've heard all the crazy, horrible stories that have happened over the last few years. But now it's much, much more secure. It's just a matter of not getting yanked by some scammer, right? Who gets a hold. If somebody reaches out to you about crypto, it's a scam. Stay away from that person.
Right.
If someone's reaching out to you, you should not be getting a text message from somebody about investing in crypto. How many times I get those text messages?
And you're going to, at the end of this comment, you'll see comments on this podcast today, and it will be scammers.
A lot of we have a lot of YouTube following as well. And when people on YouTube will comment, sometimes they'll comment things, and you have to know that that's a scammer. There's a difference between scammers and non-scammers because of what they're asking, what they're saying to you. Right. It's again educating yourself about what that is. But the point is not to be scared of something because you have an opportunity right now in your life. It's a life-changing moment that's going to happen in the next few years. Let's call it 10 years. Some will say 5, some will say 2. It's going to change. And you're either going to have had a chance to be a part of that change, or you're going to miss it and wish you did. Because
I think it's going to be faster rather than slower, just because of how everything's moving over in this fall. All the banks have to move over for some of these the ISO compliance and so forth.
20022.
Yep.
So look up what is ISO 20022. Do the research on that. Google it. Go on Yelp. Go on Google. Go on Bing. Go on YouTube. Read what that means. Do the research on what is XRP. Google it. What is XRP? The XRP ledger. What does that actually do? How does it work? Why would you want to invest in something like that?
Look to see who they're affiliated with.
Right.
I just read today there's over 300 banks and institutions right now that are affiliated with them around the world.
The banking world is buying up as much XRP as possible. It's going to be the blockchain that helps them transfer money in and out with the SWIFT system that's in place for the last 50 years. And the XRP ledger is moving money so much faster and so much cheaper. The banks want to involve this because it saves them millions of dollars. So by the banks who are Santander, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all these major banks all over the world. And it's not even, as a matter of fact, it's more all over the world than it is in America, which is even more crazy.
It's true.
Huge
Emirates, following, right?
In Dubai,
South Korea,
South America, Europe, United Kingdom. It's everywhere happening. It's happening. Oh my God, so much, but you don't hear about it. So do the research, kind of understand what it is. A lot of great blue chip cryptos. They're not expensive. Again, you can buy pieces of Bitcoin at $106,000 a share. $100 will get you 0.000006 of one Bitcoin. Or you can buy XRP at $2.15, and something that may go to $10,000 a share and change your life, literally. HBAR, Solana, Algorand. But these ones are all different prices. So some of them might be pricing you out of what you can afford to buy and how many pieces you can buy. That's the other part of it.
Yep, it's true.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on the Intro to Crypto on our Friday edition. We will not be here Monday.
It's Dave's birthday.
My birthday. I turned number 51 on Monday. If you see me, we'll have a drink together. If you don't see me, love to hear from you. If I don't hear from you, we're still friends.
Have a good 4th, guys.
And have a great 4th of July.
Yes.
Can't believe it's 4th of July.
Summer's over. I can't say that. My daughter might hear me. She hates when I say that. And I just said it.
Summer's just beginning. We're just getting into it. All right, guys. Have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you next week.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much. All right, let me get this.